Hi guys, welcome to the In the Game Room podcast. Tonight I want to take a few minutes and show you guys some new arrivals from Rubicon Models. Rubicon have been coming out with a lot of really cool models in 1/56 scale for 28mm wargaming. If you're not familiar with their products, you should probably check them out. They're a real good sort of mix between a scale model and a wargaming miniature. There's a lot of companies out there that make scale models that are just beautiful, but they don't work very good for wargaming because they're very fragile and they have tiny little parts and things like that. And then there's a lot of companies that make just wargaming miniatures, which are great for wargaming, but might lack some detail, or detail might be over exaggerated. These products from Rubicon are a very nice mix of the two. They're scale models that are good for wargaming, I guess is the best way to put it. And they've been coming out with a lot of stuff. They're a fairly new company. I'm not sure when they came onto the scene, but it's probably not more than a couple of years. So they're building up their line of products, and it's really expanding. They release 4, 5, 6 products every quarter. This quarter they released 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 products if you count these bases as individual products. So they're really kind of on fire. So let's start with the bases first of all. People that play bolt action are going to really recognize these as the standard 25mm lip bases, the 25x50 oval bases, and the 60mm round bases. So you might say, well, they've recreated what bolt action already, or what Warlords Games already makes, so why would I bother with these? Fair question. These are a significant improvement, I think, in a lot of ways, and they have some features that the Warlord Games bases don't have. They have on both sides, they have these dimples in the surface. Let's see if the camera picks that up. I'm not sure. We're going to try this on the second camera over here. These dimples on the bottom and the top are there for a couple of different reasons. The ones on the bottom are there so that you can, it's a good starting point for drilling through if you want to pin your miniatures. A lot of people like to do that, and a lot of people need to do that with some miniatures that don't have a base, for instance. The dimples on the other side are there for basing material. When you put some kind of ground covering on there, the dimples in the material give that something to grab to. Now, I'm not sure how much I like that particular aspect of these, because a lot of times when you're basing, you might just put on a bunch of glue and then sprinkle on some, green flocking, ground covering of some kind. And if that's what you do, then you might get little indentations where the dimples are on the top surface. If you're putting on some kind of putty type stuff to actually build up the ground, then this is going to work perfect. So I'm not sure how it's going to work for me. A lot of my miniatures, I do exactly what I was just talking about. I just put the glue on and then sprinkle on Woodland Scenics flocking. So we'll see how that works out. But they're really cool, and they're priced very well. These 25mm round bases for a pack of 25 are $2.40. That's pretty cheap. The 60mm bases, there's a pack of 5 for $2.80, and the 25x50 oval bases are a pack of 10 for $4.80. So all really good prices, and good selection of bases there. So that's cool. Let's get on to the more exciting stuff. They've come out with a M4 Sherman Firefly IC and an M4 Composite Firefly IC Hybrid. Now, I know this is blasphemy, but I'm going to admit right now that I don't know a lot about these two particular models. I know they're Shermans, obviously. I know they're Fireflies, obviously, and Fireflies are used by the British. I hope I'm right, or I've just made myself look like a fool, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Other than that, I don't know too much about these particular models of the Sherman, but those are two new versions of the Sherman that have been added to the line. and those of you that know what they are probably want them. Like all of the Rubicon models, they come with very nice decal sheets in plastic envelopes, which is a real nice touch, so these are not getting scratched up during shipping. They come with a very nicely illustrated instruction manual with notes on building different versions. Normally in these kits, this is the first time I've seen this right now, so I can't tell you what versions you can and cannot build, but their instructions walk you through what you need to do for each version, and they're very complete and very well written instructions from what I've seen in previous Rubicon kits I've built. So this will, let's see, small hatch, large hatch, 75. Okay, so it'll let you build the 75mm, the 17 pounder, and the 105mm howitzer, so you can build those 3 different versions. That's kind of cool. Looks like the plastic they're using in these kits is a little lighter color than some of the ones I've seen in the past. The ones in the past I've built have been kind of a darkish gray, and these, I'm not sure what I would call this color. It's greenish, but there's actually two hull tops right there. That's kind of cool. Not enough stuff in here to build 2 models, but enough to build a couple of different versions. Okay, I'm not going to open up every single tree in here and go through them, because these are actually inventory for the store. I mean, they belong to me technically, but they're not for my personal collection. So these are going back up on the shelf. A couple of more sprues just came out, drivers and crew members and things like that. So like all of Rubicon kits, it looks like a very nice kit. The M4 Composite Firefly IC Hybrid. I'm sure we're going to see pretty much the same thing. Same thing here, 2 decal sheets. Americans, of course, and these are the other allies. I'm sure this is mostly all British, but 2 very nice, very colorful decal sheets there. And again, in the plastic wrap, which is a nice touch. And the same sort of detailed instructions to build 2 different versions with large hatch 75mm and 17 pounder guns. So this one had 3 different versions, 75, the 17 pounder, and the 105. This has the 75 and the 17 pounder. A little less instructions in this because, well, this one you can build 3 different versions. I guess that makes sense. With only 2 different versions, a little less to talk about here. And just one hull this time. So that's cool for all you Sherman fans out there. Probably one of the most popular tanks ever in the history of tanks. And that's 2 more versions from Rubicon. Now, something new for Rubicon is anti-tank guns. Oops, I'm just throwing shit now. So they've done a Pac 40 AT gun, show that up close on that camera, and a Pac 38 gun. I believe these are the, no, I don't believe, I know these are the first small anti-tank guns that Rubicon have done. And let me open the Pac 40, because I've built a Pac 40 in metal, so give me something to compare it to. Pretty much a single sprue with some crew members, 3 sprues of crew members. This is pretty much what you would expect. So there goes the sprue. See if we can get a good view here on this camera. It's exactly what you would expect. The chassis, the gun shield, wheels, barrel, everything. Pretty much what you would expect in a Pac 40, and a bunch of rounds. That's kind of cool. So I mean, it's simple enough, but from what I can see without my magnifiers on, the detail looks really nice. The parts are very well done. I think this is going to be a real cool kit. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be a real small piece. I mean, it's a Pac 40 in 1/56 scale. That's what size it would be. I gotta say, it's not cheap. It's 25 bucks. And I believe both of them are the same. Yeah, 25 bucks. Fair enough, I guess, for how nice it is, but it seems a little to the high end of the price range for a small plastic AT gun. But you may think it's worth it. I mean, I think it's worth it. I think it's just a little on the high end. Instructions, very straightforward. It's basically one page of assembly for the gun, and then it gets on to assembling the crew and then putting it all together. So I mean, there's not much to it. I'm sure this goes together in minutes. And it looks like the carriage assembly can be with the whatever they're called, the arms that stick out. They can be out or in the travel configuration, either way. So it looks like a pretty cool kit. I'm sure the Pak 38 is very similar, so we probably don't need to open that one. But again, this is the first time I've seen it, so I can't really comment beyond what I'm just seeing right here. It looks nice. The crew members, they're typical Rubicon quality. They're good. They're definitely scale, so they're not going to look as chunky as the Warlord figures. The Warlord figures will be the same height as these, but the Warlord figures have bigger hands, bigger arms, bigger heads. They're what some people like to call heroic. But so these are going to look, they're going to appear to be a little smaller, although they'll be the same height. So that's interesting there. Now this is something completely new. Well, that was something new for Rubicon. This is also something new for Rubicon. They're doing some scenic sets here. Picket fences and log fences. Put this over here. There goes your picket fences and your log fences. These I'm interested in, actually. This is something you can easily make yourself. With all the machinery and the equipment and materials I have here, I could make fences really easily, but I couldn't make them as easily as just opening this box and, you know, pulling them out and painting them. So I am actually very interested in buying a set of these for myself, probably both. Let's see what we got here. Nothing else in there. Of course, no decals or anything. They're just fences. Looks like, well, you know what? I'm going to commit to the fact that I am actually going to buy this pack. I say buy. I already own it. It's my store. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 sprues on here. Each one has 4 fence sections, a little over 4 inches long. Bases that the fences go on. So that's kind of cool. They'll stand up on their own. And a looks like a gate section, and then there's a signpost, 2 signposts, or just 1 signpost. Yeah, I don't know why there's a signpost in here. Kind of a weird thing to include with a fence set, but so there's a gate, a signpost, 4 fence sections, all of that times 4 because there's 4 sprues in here. So just looking at them, first thing I noticed right away, which is cool, is there are, like I said, 4 fence sections. They're not all the same fence section. These fences have some random boards that are at, you know, random angles, and they're not all the same. So that's kind of cool. I don't really like it when they do one and then just multiply it, you know, 4 times. In this case would be 16 times. So we have 4 different fence sections times 4. And yeah, these look really cool. I am taking this home, so to speak. Let's see what the log fence set looks like. Okay, same color material, same basic idea. There's 4 fence sections, a little over 4 inches. A gate section. Is there an instruction sheet? This did not have an instruction. Oh, duh. It's right on the back of the box. Instructions are on the back of the box. So this one includes the 4 fence sections per sprue, one one gate section per sprue, and then some spare wood logs that they give you to put on a on the side of a tank if you want. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use these or not, because I really like the picket fences, but we'll see. So these are both fence kits are $19 for the kit. That's a pretty fair price for the amount of fence you get. Give me just a second here. I'm going to do this right. So they're 4 inches. There's 4 per sprue and 4 sprues. You get 64 inches of fence in each one of these. That's quite a lot of fence. So for 19 bucks, I think that's very fair. So that's the new stuff from Rubicon. That is the fourth quarter 2017 selection. I'm not sure where their quarters end and begin, because these came out right near the end of January. These are brand new. I just got them this week. So I would expect in another 3 months there'll be another set of Rubicon models coming out. I'm not sure what they have up next. I've seen a lot of pictures of stuff they're working on. I'm just not sure how far along each one of those things are, but I've seen a beautiful 88 gun, a German flak gun. I've seen a American amphibious assault vehicle. I can't remember the name of it. It's a tracked amphibious World War II vehicle. You guys are probably screaming it at the screen right now, and I can't remember the name of it. They've got a couple of different things they're working on, and I'm not sure, like I said, in what order. They're going to have another Panzer IV kit pretty soon. They just discontinued their original Panzer IV kit, which was the very first kit they ever produced. It was a fine kit. I built one. I really liked it, but apparently they've progressed so far in their techniques and their modeling and their molding and everything else, they felt it was time to retire that one and do an entirely new one that's just going to be so much better. So they're working on that. So I guess that's about it for now. I just wanted to show the new Firefly Shermans, the new pack guns, and the new fences and the new bases. That's all the new stuff from Rubicon. It's on gcmini.com now, available, and go buy it if you want it. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. We'll see you next time, and keep on gaming.